Welcome to this math session. Today, we're learning how to solve basic word problems. Why basic? We need to learn the fundamentals to enable us apply them to more complex and advanced problems. This is an important skill needed in math as it is applied to every single aspect. This is also a competency that will always be tested because it shows how you can employ critical thinking to solve problems. Stay tuned. The hardest thing about solving word problems is translating the English words into a mathematical equation or expression. Usually, once you get the math equation, you are fine. The actual math involved is often fairly simple, but figuring out the actual equation can seem nearly impossible. To really learn how to do word problems, you would need to practice, practice, and practice. Let's go through a few keywords to identify when solving a word problem. These are few keywords when solving problems involving addition and subtraction. Words like increase by, total, greater than, together, and so on indicate the math operation addition. Keywords like minus, less than, leftover, difference between, and so on indicates subtraction. These are keywords when solving problems involving multiplication and division. Words like of, each, times, twice, and so on indicate the math operation multiplication. Words like per, ratio, percent, average, and so on indicate division. Note that per in division means divided by. For example, I got 30 miles per gallon. Also, A sometimes means divided by. For example, the egg was $5 a crate. These words in a word problem sentence usually indicate the equal to sign. Let's look at these examples. Twice of 8 means 2 times 8. Thrice of 8 means 3 times 8. Less than construction is backwards. This means to translate a sentence 5 less than 12. It will be equal to 12 minus 5, not the other way around. This also means the same with addition, but the order in addition doesn't matter, so it's okay to add backwards because the result will be the same either ways. If a problem says the ratio of or the quotient of x and y, it means x divided by y, not y divided by x. If the problem says the difference of or the difference between x and y, it means x minus y, not y minus x. Other keywords we should be familiar with include a dozen, which means 12, a score, which means 20, the number of the days in a week, year, number of hours in a day, and so on. Those are a few terms we should be familiar with. Now let's dive into the steps to take when solving word problems. The first step to effectively translate and solve word problems is to read the problem entirely. Don't start trying to solve anything when you've only read half a sentence. The second step is to figure out what you need but don't have. You can pick variables to stand for the unknowns, clearly labeling these variables with what they stand for. Explaining your reasoning as you go along, and make sure you know just exactly what the problem is asking for. You need to do this for two reasons. Working clearly will help you think clearly, and figuring out what you need will help you translate your final answer back into English. The third step is to look for keywords. Certain words indicate certain mathematical operations, as we've learned earlier. Now, let's try solving some problems. Remember, our first step is to read the problem entirely. Now let's read. National Supermarket has 2,600 outlets across Somaliland. It also has 469 outlets in West Africa. How many outlets in total does the supermarket own? The second step is to figure out what you need but don't have. We know the amount of outlets in Somaliland and in West Africa, but we don't know how many outlets we have altogether. The third step is to look for keywords that indicate the certain mathematical operation we need to solve the problem. If you look carefully at the question, you will notice that our keyword is total, which means we're going to add. Hence, our total number of outlets would be equal to 3,069. Let's solve more examples. Remember, our first step is to read the question entirely. The average yield of wheat per acre is 3,360 pounds. How many pounds of wheat will 79 acres of land produce on an average? The second step is to figure out what you need but don't have. We know that 1 acre equals 3,360 pounds of wheat, or we can simply say 3,360 per 1 acre. Remember, per means division. What we don't know is how many pounds of wheat would have per 79 acres of land. Now we can simply say X pounds of wheat per 79 acres. X is the unknown. Now, we can proceed to create an equation by equating both averages together. From here, we can see it's easier to solve. We solve by multiplying both sides by 79 in order to find the unknown. When we do that, X equals 265,440. You'll notice here that to solve this question, you had to brainstorm and critically think through your steps. One thing to remember is not all word problems are the same, and there is no one formula to solve word problems. It takes practice to master the skill of solving. Let's do some more practice questions. You can go ahead to pause this video to solve it on your own and come back to press play to check your answer. After reading through the question, we can identify what we have and what we don't have. We know the twins invited 8 friends, so making it a total of 10 people in their party. We know that everyone had 2 cones of ice cream each. This is a keyword and we know what it means. It means times. We don't know how many cones of ice cream Mrs. Ali would make. Now we can proceed to write an equation for this. We know that there were 10 people present in the party and each person had 2 cones of ice cream each. Since each means to multiply, the total ice cream equals 2 times 10, which equals 20 ice creams made by Mrs. Ali. If you got 20, then your answer is correct. Go ahead to solve these on your own. You can proceed to the Google Classroom to fill out your answers to get feedbacks. Next week, we'll learn how to solve more complex word problems because solving word problems cuts across every aspect in maths and is therefore a competency you must fulfill. Don't forget to utilize all the resources posted on the YouTube channel and the Google Classroom. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Abarso ASAP channel on YouTube if you haven't done so. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.